Hello, and welcome to today's discussion. I'm Claire, and joining me is Alan. We'll be covering some of the key news stories making headlines recently.
Hi, Claire. Thanks for having me. I'm Alan. Let's dive into the stories.
President Donald Trump is set to address the nation on topics that include elections and voting machines, suggesting he may revisit some unproven claims about Republican losses, particularly his own in 2020. The context indicates that Trump's speech is likely to focus on election conspiracies.
That's right. The reporting suggests Trump is likely to revisit some of the unproven claims he's made previously about election integrity. Can you clarify what specific claims he's made in the past regarding the 2020 election?
In the past, Trump has repeatedly claimed that the 2020 election was rigged and that voting machines were compromised. These claims have been widely disputed and investigated, with no substantial evidence supporting them. The articles indicate that Trump's upcoming address will likely touch on these themes again.
So, what's the potential impact of Trump revisiting these claims? Could it affect public perception of election integrity or influence future elections?
The articles suggest that by revisiting these claims, Trump may be trying to maintain a narrative that has been significant to his base. However, there's no clear indication of how this will directly impact future elections or public perception. It's worth noting that these claims have been previously made and have not been substantiated.
The New York Times has filed a motion to quash subpoenas served by the Justice Department on journalists who reported on security concerns involving the new Qatari-gifted Air Force One. This raises significant questions about press freedom and the government's ability to force reporters to identify sources.
That's a critical issue. The subpoena centered on the newspaper's reporting on security concerns involving the new Air Force One. By filing a motion to quash these subpoenas, the New York Times is challenging the government's attempt to compel journalists to reveal their sources.
How does this case potentially impact press freedom in the U.S.? What are the implications if the government can subpoena journalists for their sources?
If the government succeeds in compelling journalists to reveal their sources, it could have a chilling effect on press freedom. Journalists rely on confidential sources to report on sensitive topics, and if those sources are revealed, it could discourage future whistleblowers from coming forward.
That makes sense. The case seems to be setting up a significant legal battle over the balance between national security concerns and the protection of journalistic sources.
The Supreme Court has expressed concern over introducing a third language in CBSE Class 9, suggesting it could increase students' stress, particularly around board exams. The court has urged the center to consider introducing the third language at an earlier stage, such as Class 5 or 6.
The Supreme Court's concern is that adding a third language at Class 9 level could exacerbate the existing stress students face during board exams. What rationale did the court provide for suggesting an earlier introduction?
The court, led by Justice B.V. Nagaratna, suggested that introducing a third language at an earlier academic stage would be less burdensome for students. The idea is to distribute the learning load more evenly across their academic career.
That seems reasonable. By introducing the language earlier, students would have more time to adapt and learn it gradually, potentially reducing the overall stress.
TMC MP Koam Malik has resigned from the Rajya Sabha just months after joining. This development follows another TMC MLA, Madan Mitra, joining a rebel faction and citing ineffectiveness within the party.
Koam Malik's resignation is seen as another setback for the Trinamool Congress, especially following Madan Mitra's move to a rebel faction. What are the potential implications of these resignations for the party's leadership?
The resignations, particularly of high-profile members like Koam Malik, could indicate internal dissatisfaction within the Trinamool Congress. This might weaken the party's position, especially if more members consider leaving.
It's worth noting that Koam Malik's resignation came after a relatively short tenure. Do we know if there were any specific reasons cited for her resignation?
The articles indicate that her resignation follows Madan Mitra's allegations of ineffectiveness within the party and a perceived focus on certain leadership figures rather than organizational strength. However, Kowal Malik's specific reasons for resigning are not detailed in the reporting. Senator John Fetterman has stated that he would leave the Democratic Party if it adopts an official anti-Israel platform. This statement comes amid his ongoing battle with progressive elements within the party.
Fetterman's statement is significant because it highlights a potential red line for him within the party. What does this say about the current dynamics within the Democratic Party regarding Israel?
Fetterman's warning suggests there's a significant divide within the Democratic Party on how to approach Israel. Progressives may be pushing for a more critical stance towards Israel, while others, like Fetterman, are maintaining a more supportive position.
It's clear that Fetterman's stance is influenced by his views on Israel. Do you think this could lead to further divisions within the party, or is it more of a personal statement from Fetterman?
Fetterman's statement is likely both personal and reflective of broader party dynamics. The issue of Israel is complex and divisive, and Fetterman's comments may resonate with some Democrats while alienating others, potentially contributing to further internal debate.
As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that these stories cover a wide range of significant issues, from political addresses and press freedom to educational policies and party dynamics.
That's right. Each of these stories highlights important themes that are currently shaping public discourse and policy debates. Thank you for joining me, Alan, in exploring these topics.
Thank you, Claire. It's been a pleasure discussing these stories with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope our conversation has provided you with a deeper understanding of these current events. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.